Hello everyone, welcome to the third tutorial in Revit 2021. This time I'll be guiding you through the Dynamo plugin. I'll start with the first section, so I'll create a new project containing the family we've already modeled in the second tutorial for the column. I'll start with Revit and then I'll create a new project using the metric construction template, and then I'll select OK. I'll just go to the Insert tab and then load a family. From here, I'll just navigate to where I've saved my file. It's here at desktop, so depending on where you've saved your file, you can just use it. And then I'll select Open. If you cannot see it, then it's probably added to your family section in the project browser. So you just navigate through the tree and then go to the columns part, and then you should find it here as well. So if you open the tree further, then you can just drag and drop it here. And I'll place 3 of them. And then type escape to get out of the command and another escape to end it. As you can see in the tutorial, I'll save the project with another name and call it Project 2 2021. And then click Save. Once saved, I'll switch to the 3D view. So I'll just create one since I don't have it. And I'll turn the visibility off for the levels. So I'll type BG and go to levels. To open the Dynamo plugin, I'll switch to the Manage tab and then click on Dynamo. A new window will open. From here, I'll just create a new file. And then I'll switch to the manual mode to avoid having it compiling every time I make a change. And then I'll skip to section 3. So for the layout introduction, I'll just skip it as well and then just continue with the first script we have to create. So here I'll start by getting the node for number, and then I can just select it. And for that we need 4 of them, so I'll just click 4 times. We need 2 addition, so I'll just type plus, and then we need 2 of them, and we need 2 watch nodes, so I'll type watch and get 2 of them, and then get a code block, which usually can just get it by double clicking here. And the last one is another watch. So I'll type watch and then click once more. To reorganize it, I'll just drag them wherever I want and then continue with the numbers at the very beginning. Put the 2 watch lists here, then get the number here, third node, last watch, and the other one here, and put the last number here where it should be as displayed in the tutorial. To connect the nodes, I'll just click on the arrow and then attach it to the other side of the next node and just click again to confirm the connection. Do it the same way here as well, and for the last number node. I'll continue connecting the nodes the same way as mentioned in the tutorial. I'll type the if-else statement in the code block that we need, and then connect the watch list to the code block. And for the last watch list, I'll just connect it like that. I'll type any number that I want here. So I'll just use 1, maybe 5 here, 7 and 3. And then I'll click on run to run my script. And as you can see, it says A is less than B, which is correct. To save our script, I'll just go to the File tab and then select Save As. And I'll save it to the desktop in a new folder. And name it as example 1. It will be of type, the extension is dyn, and then I'll click on save. To add text comments in your script, for that I'll go to the edit tab and then select create note. I'll get the text node here, then I have to double click and then type whatever text I want. In this case, I'll type input 4 numbers. And then select accept. To switch the connectors type from splines to polylines, I'll just go to View, Connectors, Show Connector Type. I'll switch the connectors type back to curves, so I'll go to View, Connectors, Connector Type, and then Curves. To create groups containing collection of nodes, I'll use a window selection first, then go to the Edit tab, and then select Create Group. Here I'll just double click and then type input instead. I'll do the same for the second part, calculate. So again, a window selection, and then create group. Here I'll change the name to calculate, and last group is for the comparison. So again, then I'll change the name to compare. I can double click. To change the color, I'll just right click on it and switch it to blue. Here I'll switch it to orange. I'll keep the first one as green, and then type Ctrl S to save. And then I'll close this file and open a new script file. Moving on to section 4 for creating a line. I'll start by adding the necessary nodes. So we need the point.by coordinates. I'll need the 3D point node, so I'll just select it twice. Then search for the second node type. I need line.by start point endpoint. Then click on it. I'll just reorganize it a little bit. And then add the connections. I'll switch to manual again. To add the values for the points, I'll add the number nodes. Then connect them to the X and use the second node for Y and Z. The same here as well. And then change the numbers. And then click 1. If you cannot see the line in the view here, you can just check it in the Revit project. So I'll switch back to Revit. And then go to the 3D view in an empty project and then select zoom to fit. And then you should be able to see the line if it's not visible in Dynamo. I'll save this script as example 2. So again, I'll go to the File tab, Save As, and save it as example 2. I'll close the tab and then switch back to project 2. Then get back to Dynamo again. So again, back to the Manage tab, and then I'll open the Dynamo plugin. Open a new file. Then I'll expand the window. And then add the nodes as mentioned in section 5. So I need a node for selecting a model. I'll just select on it. Now I have it. I'll switch back again to the manual mode. I need a string. Then I'll add a number slider. And then the last node I need is the element.setParameter by name. And then I'll click on it. I'll start connecting them the way mentioned in the PDF. And then I'll add the parameter name in the string node, which is diameter. I'll expand the number slider to change the minimum and maximum values to 600 and 1200 respectively. And then I'll switch this step to 100. I'll click on select here. And then switch to the column I need, and then I'll select it and get back to the Dynamo window. And now we could see that the element ID is chosen, and then I'll select run. If you receive an error that the operation has failed because no parameter has been found by that name, it's probably because the diameter parameter is set to a type, not an instance. So you need to get back to the project, select one of the columns, and then go to Edit Family. Here you'll find the family types. And then if you select only diameter and try to edit the parameter, you'll find it's set to a type. If you switch it back to an instance and select OK and another OK here, and then load it into the project and then select yes. I'll replace the file and then I need to override the existing version and all its parameters. Now the file should work again if you run it in Dynamo, so I'll just rerun it. And now the run is completed. So if you check again in the project, you'll see that the diameter has increased. I'll save the script as example 3. So again, I'll go to File, Save As, and then example 3. I'll click Save. Moving on to section 6, I'll close the current file and open a new one. I'll switch again to Manual. I'll start by adding the Select Model element node. I'll just click on it and move it a little bit to the left. And then I'll add the Family Types node. Select it and just move it a little bit up. Then Element.curves. I'll need a number spider. Then levels. And family instance dot set pointed low. And then the last one I'll need is curve.point set segment length from point. So now I have all the nodes I need. So I'll add the connectors. I'll change the interval from 0 to 100 for the minimum value and for the maximum to 2000, and I'll convert the step into 100. And then set the slider as 1600. I'll change the family type to column, the family we've already modeled. And for the selection, I'll need to create the spline to select first. So I'll switch to the floor plan at level 1, and then select model line. I'll select the spline, and then draw the spline I need. It doesn't have to be exact like in the PDF, just a normal spline, and then type escape to get out of the command, then another escape to end it. I'll get back to Dynamo and then I click on select and then switch back to Revit project, then select the spline. If I switch back, I'll find the element is selected here. I have the ID for it. And then I'll select the level I need, which is level 1. And I'll connect the last node here for the curve. So I'll try to increase it to 100 again. And set the slider at 1600. And then run it. This time you can see it again if I switch back to the 3D view. And in the plan as well, they are already sorted along the spline. I'll save this script in a new file, so save as, and then I'll create example 4. And then click save. I'll close the tab and move on to the next section. Section 7, creating parameterized levels. I'll let you create the parametric family for the column and model the sample project. So I'll just open an already modeled file. So now I'll open the Dynamo plugin. So I'll switch to the Manage tab and then click on Dynamo. I'll open a new script file and then add the nodes as shown on page 11. I'll start with example 5 first. So I need the levels node. Then a number node, a watch list, and an element.set parameter by name. For the code block, I'll just double click anywhere here. And I'll start reorganizing them. I'll switch to the manual mode first. And then I'll add the parameter name as elevation. And then connect it to the parameter name input, the element node, and then click run. I'll change the number to 4000. I'll save the file as example5. So again, from the file tab, I'll go to save as and then save it as example5.dyn, and then click save. And if you check the Dynamo project and then go to somewhere in the elevations, you'll notice the levels have changed to 4000 in the meter. I'll expand on the fifth example to create example number 6. So I'll just pan a little bit with a click on the scroll and add the rest of the nodes I need. So now I'll add the connectors. I'll add 3 code block nodes. I'll add 2 more code blocks for the width and depth. I'll change the interval for the number slider from 0 to 1000 instead of 100. And the same for the other node as well. And the step, I'll keep it at 10 instead. For the categories, I'll select the columns. And then click Run. Now if we switch back to the project, and then back to the plans, we see the column depth and width has changed to 600. So I'll switch back to Dynamo. Let me reorganize the script. So I'll select all the nodes with a window selection and then select Cleanup Node Layout under the Edit tab. And for this one, I'll save as example 6. Then click on Save.